Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Do me a favor, share the show, text it out to a friend, share it to your social media. Helps the show a lot, and it's free. Today's show is going to be about the sliding scale of success. You have to look at everything you do in life at either moving yourself closer towards your goals or further away. So almost make it look like, imagine if you will, you wake up every single day and here's kind of like the goalpost, okay? And you wake up kind of in the middle every single day. Each action you take, of course, every action has consequences. So are your actions leading you towards the success end of your goal, or is it leading you towards excuses? There's so many things that could take you away from your goal to go actually backwards. Now, some of the things we do and or have to do, of course, are neutral. They're not really moving the needle either way. And some of those things are fine. Listen, you don't have to always be moving towards that goal. You don't always have to be doing that. But for the most part, you should actively be moving yourself closer to your goal. First of all, you have to have a goal. You have to have a target. How are you supposed to hit a target that you don't even have? So that's number one. But once you have that target, I'm going to give you a perfect story, a perfect example. Actually, a listener of this show, and he gave me permission to use this story. He wrote a book. Took a long time writing a book. He wrote this book, and then he went to start getting it ready to start sending it to publishers. Guess what? Book's gone. He can't find it anywhere on his computer. It's not saved. It's just, he looked everywhere. He had to start from scratch. This is a huge success principle. He had to start from scratch, write the entire book over. He said this time when he wrote it over, it was even better, because now as he was writing it, he kind of learned from some of his mistakes. From before, he was kind of like, I wish I would have told that story a little bit different. So now he actually wrote a better book, according to him, and he made it happen. Now here's the thing. How many other people would give up? See, his goal was to write a book. His goal wasn't to write a book and then, like, if something happened, give up. He maintained a very strong success principle. He knew he wanted to make this book a reality. He wasn't going to give up. Now, was losing the book once he had it written, did that move him further from his goal? Yes, it did. But he had an option. He could have said, I could just say I'm done. I wrote the book. It didn't work out. I'm done with it. That's what a lot of people would do. What he did was he said, listen, for whatever reason, I can't find this book. But my goal is to write this book. My goal is to get this book published. So he asked himself, how do I get closer to this goal? He's going to have to write it again. He's going to have to start from scratch, do the whole thing over again. See, so there's choices you can make. And you have to ask yourself every single day, am I moving closer to my goal? So I'll give you an example. Like every day I wake up and the first thing I do is I listen to 3, and sometimes depending on the day, but sometimes 4 Christian podcasts right in a row. So that's how I start my day, getting into my mind. I don't sit there and scroll through my phone or look through a bunch of negativity or look at the news. The first thing I do is start listening to Christian podcasts. I get my head, my heart focused, right? So that would be a good example of kind of moving myself closer to the goals, to the things that I want to achieve on a daily basis and for an eternal basis. Then I immediately go into like success type podcast. And all of this, by the way, is when I'm drinking water and then I'm stretching. So now I've drank a lot of water. First thing I wake up, as I'm drinking the water, I'm listening to these Christian podcasts. Then I immediately go into a few, sometimes 2 or 3, again, depending on the day when they're released, 2 or 3 like motivational success type podcast. And then by the time those are done, they're usually most of those podcasts are usually about 15 minutes each. Then I go into like more of like, let's call it like entertainment type podcasts. At this point, I'm already working out. So I wake up, drink water, stretch. While this is all going on, I'm listening to Christian and success type podcasts, and then I start working out. When I start working out, it becomes the entertainment, whether it be music or podcasts, like entertainment type things, whether it be political or news related or things I want to know or information I'm interested in, things like that. So then it's get outside and walk the dogs in cold weather if it happens to be cold out, which right now it is, and just shorts and a t-shirt. And then it's a cold shower. Then see what I mean? So like this is all before I even get to work. And then I got to get in my car and drive up to about 2 hours to get to work some days. While I'm driving to work, I'm listening to things that I'm interested in. Sometimes it's educational, sometimes, again, entertainment type things. But all of this, so when I get into work, I see some people, they were strolling to work and they kind of just like, they just woke up like 20 minutes ago, where I've already been up for hours. I've already worked out. So those types of things are moving myself closer to the goals that I have. I want to achieve ultimate health. I want to work on my mind. I want to work on things. I'm setting my goals. I'm doing nice, good self-talk, things like that. So always ask yourself, some things are neutral. You don't always have to be doing something. Sometimes the needle's not moving. It's okay sometimes to just sit and watch a TV show that you're interested in. But sometimes you can ask yourself, how can I do this where it's creating something? Like maybe watching a movie with a loved one. See, now I wouldn't necessarily call that, obviously, working backwards. It's not necessarily moving you towards your goal, although are some of your goals to build and work on your relationship. See, so some things are perspective related. So try to work on your health, try to work on your finances, try to work on your perspectives and things like that. Try to work on how are you working towards success, and try to do things on a daily basis that move you closer to your goals. So get your goals, number one. Come up with strategies, find out what's working, what's not working, adjust those strategies as need be. But always constantly be like, this is moving me towards my goal. This is taking me further away. If your goal, as an example, let me give you a quick example. If your goal is to lose weight, let's say you want to lose 50 pounds, and most days you're doing really good. Like, you're moving yourself closer to your goal. You're shedding the weight. You're eating healthy. You're putting fruits and vegetables. You're exercising. But one day, and I'm not knocking necessarily if you go one day, but let's just say you're moving towards your goal, and then one day you decide, I'm not going to work out today, and I'm going to eat sugar and snacks and cake and ice cream and candy bars. And you're obviously, at this point, you're moving yourself backwards. You're not moving towards your goal. You're moving further away from your goal. Now, if you wake up the next day and you keep doing that, candy, ice cream, cakes, this and that, you're sliding backwards. But if you wake up the next day and you decide, okay, I had a bad day yesterday, let's get back on it. Let's eat the fruits and vegetables. Let's work out today. Let's exercise. Now you're sliding. You're moving yourself closer to your goal, your success. So sometimes you're going to hit obstacles. Sometimes you're going to find yourself slipping a little bit. But as long as you recover, and again, for the most part, none of us are perfect, obviously, but for the most part, if you're trying to move yourself closer to your goal, think about that. Most of the time, you should be moving yourself closer to your goal. Just think like that. Most of the time. Is this getting me closer to my goal, or is this moving me further away? Just ask yourself that question in almost everything that you do. And if you find that most of the time you're moving yourself closer to your goal, closer to achieving those goals, excellent. You're doing a good job. Like I said, do me a favor, share the show, text it out to a friend, share it to your social media. That helps me a lot. Enjoy your life, my friends, and enjoy the process.
Daddy, Daddy, you're so awesome. Daddy, Daddy, you're so cool. Yeah! I love you, Daddy.